In a world crying out for a top 10 show, John Roca and Matt Nost are here. So grab your assigned seat, sit back, and enjoy this week's Top 10. Brought to you by the Schmoes Know Network. Take it away, boys.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's Thunderdome. We gave the fan... Oh, wait. I'm John Roca.
I'm Matt Nost.
I'm going to get good at that at some point.
It's only on this one that you do it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just so excited to jump into talk
Or the
about
recap
one
and review.
film.
The actual show itself,
you're right.
You're really good about.
Yeah, the recap and review and this Thunderdome. I'm not good at these things. Let's be real here. We had two choices that we put on the table. Once again, did our choice not get chosen?
I would have taken either.
Really?
Yeah.
You're good either way?
Yep.
Okay.
I know you wanted Munich.
I would have liked to have explored Munich again just to force me to watch it again so I could see if that ending is any better to me.
Is Under Siege coming back at some point? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Is Munich coming back at some point? Yes, it is. If it's a movie, there's a reason it came up now.
Yeah.
And this was born out of, hey, let's pick two Spielbergs.
Yeah.
We've done other directors, and I don't want to pick, his biggest movies. Why not go for something like, a little more niche within his realm, which is almost an absurd statement because it's Spielberg.
It's Spielberg and everything. Everything he does small films.
Exactly. There's no such thing as a small Spielberg. Even when it's small, it's still huge.
Right, exactly.
It's just small by his standards.
Yeah, so you all chose Minority Report, which...
Pretty overwhelmingly,
yeah, which speaks to the power the film still has with people. Like, it resonates with people still, and they still like it. They consider it still a good Spielberg film. And it really isn't your typical Spielberg film, and that's what's so interesting about the film. Yeah. What did you think, Matt?
I liked it. I went back and rewatched it for this show.
Yeah.
It still holds up. There are aspects of it but they're very minute. It's just some of the CGI.
Yeah.
Because
some
the
of the
movie's...
stunts.
Yeah, it's from, 2003.
Yeah.
And
or 2002, yeah.
Something like that. CGI was good.
Yeah.
But now, initially when it opens and they're making one of the first balls that has the person's name etched into it, and when the lasers or whatever they are going around it, in no way does that look remotely real. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Having now seen Hulk come to life and you actually see Hulk and you're like, that looks believable.
Yeah.
For the first time ever.
Yeah.
And the rendering in Avengers, okay, you guys did it.
Yeah.
Because even the Ed Norton and the Eric Bana was you're getting close, but he still looks, like a CGI character.
No, that's a great point. I went to see Captain America last night for the third time, Civil War, and a friend invited me, bought my ticket, and was like, come watch it with me. I'm like, all right. But the CG on the film, after having seen Minority Report yesterday by myself here at the house, going to see it at the theater, you're like, oh man, what they could do with that movie now, with the technology now, would be amazing.
The interesting thing is, because I remember the lead up to it and its release, Spielberg said that he had interviewed and brought in so many different consultants to project what the technology is going to be like, and advertising and this and this and this. And it's interesting to see where they were right and they were wrong, because it's been 14 years now. And they were right in the hand motions. It does kind of look like we're eventually going to trend towards that.
Yeah.
We already have that capability, and eventually, we'll probably have something along those lines.
There already is for Samsung.
Yeah, you can do.
Yeah, I almost, I was looking at televisions when I was buying television a couple of years ago, and I have a Samsung now, but they had a technology, $4,000 for the television. I was like, you're fucking out of your mind. But you could hit this top button on top of the television, a camera would come out, and then with your hand, you could move the screens like Minority Report.
Yeah.
And pick the apps, and you would never need to use a remote. As long as the camera can read your hand, you could, flip screens, change channels.
Makes sense.
Do whatever.
It's way easier
raise
than
the
a remote.
volume. Yeah, it's so crazy.
It's way easier.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. But then, the data transfer and carrying around those little, plastic glass, whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense, especially when they have to transfer from the small computer to the large one when he's
Right.
manipulating.
Right.
They have to do this big slide.
Yeah, those slides.
Yeah, it looks like old medical technology, like kind of style.
Yeah.
Pulling it out and putting it in. It was like, that doesn't make sense. You would just Bluetooth it or Wi-Fi it like straight across.
Yep.
Like they would be on a wireless network of some sort.
It also makes you think about how far we've come in 14 years, like with technology. Then it's almost nascent in 2002 or 2003 when this film came out, what you're watching. So them moving that would never work today. The moving of the things, you know what I'm saying? They have the touchstone screens already. You see it on Hawaii Five-0 if you watch the TV show, the new one. Ever since it's come on, they've had this screen that they can put their hands on. And when they move stuff to the main screens, they're moving it from a smaller screen, so you're not like taking it out and shoving the thing in. You're just like you said, you're Wi-Fiing it or you're Bluetoothing it to the next screen.
I mean,
logically,
you could sell me on if Spielberg wanted to say they wanted to make sure that it was fully encrypted that way.
Yeah.
So sending it out wirelessly runs the risk, but you could also make it so no signal gets out of this room.
Yeah.
So I don't buy it. But I don't think, considering how much other technology they managed to get right,
Yeah.
I think the eye scanners is a very real thing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I think, the driverless cars.
Yep.
We're getting there slowly. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be like that.
No, maybe. Who knows? I mean, the fact that they're parking.
They go 90 degrees.
Yeah, that's true.
So that means that
That's a whole nother ball.
magnetic levitation or something where it's not just roads. So now we're going to pay for that kind of infrastructure. That's not happening. Just saying, we don't want to fix bridges. Now we're going to put in this huge smart roadway system. Never going to fucking happen.
You know boys and their toys, man. You never know.
Yeah, but now we're talking about like a nation and its toys. And
That's true.
We'd rather do that on defense spending in this country than we would on paying for roads.
Calm down there, man. Calm
Oh,
down.
it's just you just look at the breakdown of every tax dollar. You'd be like, nah, defense gets quite a bit.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Mar talks about it all the time on how much the budget
Yeah,
is. It's insane.
that's the reality. I'm not making a judgment. I'm
and
just
I've
saying.
served, and I'm telling you, the budget is insane. It's way
It
too
is.
big. It's way too big.
What Eisenhower warned about is very true.
Oh, right.
Just as true today as it was when he was worried about it in its infancy.
Exactly. Anyway, so Minority Report, which is actually, we can make the segue back in the movie from that because the movie itself talks a lot about how the government, free will versus control. Free
Yeah, it's an
will versus
existential
control.
question, and it's great that Colin Farrell's character was in seminary school.
Yeah.
Because he has to deal with this. It's a common idea within theology.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if God knows everything, then you don't have free will because he knows the outcome of every decision before you ever make it, so you have no choice.
Right.
Or you have free will and choice, and somehow he's not deciding or not, maybe not expressing his all power knowledge or whatever else, but that doesn't, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how God works. We haven't met. So he hasn't explained things to me yet, as far as I know.
There's a book you can look at.
Yeah. Well, guess what? There's somebody else with another book that tells me to look at that book.
This would be a good point to say real quickly. Spoilers all over this thing, so if you haven't seen the movie, thank you for downloading. Go watch the movie. Come back, pick up right where you left off.
It is 14 years old.
Keep going. Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
It's true. A lot of the Thunderdomes we do, they're 20 and 25, 30 years old.
Yeah.
This one is slightly newer.
A little newer, yeah. But yeah, the thing that I really enjoyed is that question is throughout the whole movie with everybody, not just Tom's character of John Anderton. You have the precog herself when he steals Agatha out of the pool. When you have Burris, I think his name is the head guy that Max von
It's either
Sydow
Burris
plays.
or Burgess.
Probably Burgess, which is probably a call back to something. And
Meredith. They're just big fans.
No.
Big fans.
No, I think there's something. I'm just thinking of something in the sci-fi world, but like, and then what Whitwer does with Colin Farrell does with that character, really great stuff of exploration of what is the truth, And then as it progresses, you're asking yourself, well, is this all happening because he saw the premonition? If he hadn't seen the premonition, would he have still found himself in that spot about to kill Crow or not?
Yeah, was his fate inevitable?
Exactly.
Or was it basically, because you put this in front of me, I'm now searching this reality out?
Yeah.
Like that, as long as you give me the choice, I can find it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, as opposed to making the choice independently.
Right.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
It's a great question.
Well, this is what I enjoy about the film. All the other chase scenes and the gadgets and all this shit, it's all great decoration around a really strong
Strong
idea.
yet simple.
Yes.
They like it's a somewhat complex idea, so they simplify around it to make it more digestible.
Yeah.
Because you could just cram it in with all kinds of stuff and this thing and this thing. And yeah, exactly. With all the gadgets and like, we see shots of the watch as he's like setting a time or whatnot.
Yeah.
And it clearly does. It's got functions that we don't understand. Mm-hmm. We don't need to get into it.
No, we don't need to.
Just a futuristic watch. Let's keep moving on.
But just like all good futuristic movies, there's always like the lower income areas, the lower area, like where he goes to get his eyes taken out and replaced with new eyes, so he doesn't get screwed. To an extent with Stormari, there's always that. Just like in Blade Runner, there's always the lower areas they go to in all these great sci-fi films.
Everybody that they interact with that would be quote unquote like a civilian, normal person, is out of their fucking minds.
Yep,
every single one. Whereas the people they're dealing with that deal with this pre-crime, are all relatively normal. At least they're all the same. Yeah. So that's, I guess, normal. And then when they venture out into the regular, world, like, Stormari, like you said, or they go to the guy that helps extrapolate from the precog's mind. Yeah. That guy's all over the place mentally. Yeah. He's all over. But even like when he jumps out of his car and he jumps onto the other car and when it goes 90 degrees and he leaps and lands in the yoga studio, the woman that walks up to him is inverted and she's got her head between her legs. Yeah. And instead of standing up like you would do as a person, she keeps her head between her legs and walks over to him backwards and was like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on?" You're like, why would that ever happen? Every choice, I guess with the exception of his wife. Yeah. But no, she bleeds into anybody that's outside of that world is just bananas.
And she's great too. Catherine Morris does a nice job with that part too. It's not a big part, but it certainly has she does a great job of playing those kinds of parts with a nice connection. You can make a connection to her. I wasn't a big fan of her TV show.
What was her TV?
Cold Case.
Oh,
yeah, that's her.
Fuck! I hadn't put together that was her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she's better as a brunette. I like her better as a brunette, like she is in the film.
I never watched that show.
Oh yeah,
I was just surprised when it did as well as it did on its first season.
Yeah.
It just because it's like, I don't know who this is. Wow, this seems like a procedural, like there's 5 others on CBS.
It's like Crossing Jordan. You're like, how the hell did that stay on for 5 or 6 seasons?
I don't know.
I love Joe Hennessy, but I don't love it that much. It's pretty amazing. So the whole concept is and it's all being set up by Max von Sydow. By the way, he doesn't age. He's this old since the 1950s. I want to make this very clear. Yeah. There was never a young period.
This was 14 years ago. Yeah. For those that have never seen it, he looks the exact same in The Force Awakens.
And Game of Thrones, which he's on right now.
Yeah, exactly. He's the same. Yeah. He is the same.
Yeah, and when I saw Seventh Seal, he looked the same.
You know what's funny? I started watching this show called River.
Oh, yeah.
It's an English crime drama with
it's all in the queue.
Sarsgaard. Yeah. I always screw up his name.
Yep. Stellan Skarsgård. Yeah. Yeah,
in the opening one, he's got to run. Like literally haul off and sprint. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, I don't buy this at all.
That's right.
It's just this older actor of like, I buy you as the guy that calculates or is figuring out or the wheels are churning and you're a detective, but he doesn't have to do it for long. And in no way are they setting up like an action hero. Yeah. It's just like they needed it for this one scene and you're like, yeah, we shouldn't have him run again, guys. Yeah. He's been an old man on film now and now on TV for so long that just watching him run just does not look normal.
It's true. It's true.
But yeah, Max von Sydow is the exact same. He's been the same for so long. He's been this way my entire life.
Do you forgive him for the end? Okay, this is a good question. Do you believe the end? Do you think that actually happened, or do you think when he got put under, this is all
his
a vision?
Fantasy?
Yeah, in his fantasy, in his head.
Well, what I don't understand is...
It changes for me every time I watch it.
That reality makes more sense to me in that how in the fuck... do his eyes still unlock the doors to get into the crime, like where they're holding the prisoners?
Good question.
If as soon as he becomes a suspect and they scan him and he's on the train, later on he comes back to get the precog, shouldn't the defense systems start at the precinct and move outwards?
It's a good point.
But he manages to get in and get the precog. So, okay, lapse. We made a mistake, guys. We made a mistake. Somehow he's using his eyes.
Suspension of disbelief. Okay.
Yeah, sure. We got to fix that going forward. Then his wife shows up again and uses the eyeball and manages to get in and get him out. Yeah, it makes sense to me that this is all in his head because it shouldn't.
Right.
As bad as a bureaucracy can be, nobody's this inept.
Well, some people say it isn't in his head because why wouldn't he wish his son to be alive?
And
I go, well, there are some things you just accept. You know,
he fell asleep already having that reality, so his life ended there.
Exactly.
And his dreams pick up thereafter.
Yeah.
So in his dreams, he's unfortunately passed, and it's been a long time. It's like 6 years.
I read some reviews and research for this show, and they said some people really believe that Spielberg did this as a way to say fuck you to everybody who always says to him, oh, he just has happy endings. He just does happy endings, as a way of being like, oh, yeah, I'll show you a fucking happy ending.
Oh, he slaps a happy ending on the end when the wife they're back together and she's pregnant. And I was like, there's your Spielberg ending.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So I wonder if he did that, if it's really true, because it's like, because a lot of people bitched about that with AI, that he put on this stupid happy ending, even though he claims now, and a lot of people said to me that he claims that Kubrick wanted that ending originally. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
Who knows?
And yeah, exactly. But like this could be a little bit. This is very similar to Inception. This kind of ambiguous, this kind of ending of whether is it true or is it not true? You don't know. And I think what's so great is the film leads to that ending so well because it's a well constructed film. So you can spend time thinking about this because you've enjoyed everything else that's come before it. You know, that's what I liked about the film. Neil McDonough's great as Fletch, whatever his name is, the guy who's always trying to calm him down, who's part of his team, and then has to try to track him down.
Yeah.
You know, he's always good at that.
But then extends his wife a courtesy as a favor to a guy that he helped just put away. Like, okay, I don't really buy that he would do this.
Yeah.
And he was going to project it at the event that his boss is currently out.
Right.
Like, she manages to talk him into it in 10 seconds.
Oh, no, that's the black guy. He talks to the black guy. She talks to the black. I'm talking about the white dude with the who's always, Neil McDonough, who's always.
Oh, Band of Brothers?
Yes, that guy. Yeah. Who plays his, in essence, his second-hand man in the.
Oh, yeah. He is. He's his, lieutenant. He's
right. Right.
He takes over for his job once Chief has been taken down.
Exactly. I liked him in the film. I just like what the film. I like the way it's directed. I like the pace of the film. The action sequences are fantastic, and the performances are really. Cruise is so good in this. There's moments when he's like talking about his son, and when he breaks down, when Samantha, who does a great job, Samantha Morton, gotta say her name, so great as Agatha, as the precog, when she starts to tell them about what their son could have been in the future.
It's great.
Oh, man.
And now he's in college, and he's in the stadium, and he made love to a beautiful woman.
Right. And he called his mom, and you were crying, and oh, man.
And then ties it back into herself and explains what this movie's about.
Right.
Why are we here?
Exactly.
Just in a couple of nice lines of dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Samantha does a great job because Samantha doesn't just all of a sudden become human. She is still like having laid in a pool her entire life. You know, how could she
hopped up on chemicals that kept her in a weird state, a suspended state of animation where you're not quite asleep, not quite awake.
Yeah. So what would she be like being out into the real world? And logically, she doesn't do like when he's flipping out on Crow in that apartment or hotel. Oh yeah, the apartment that they're in. And she crawls off the bed to try to stop him. She doesn't jump off the bed. She's like, she has these weird movements that is her character that I really enjoyed. And when she's flipping out about when Crow kills himself using Anderton's gun, her screams are so powerful, just so fucking unsettling.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. All of that. The shattering of the glass, all that shit. Just like, boom, you're in that place. He does go a little too far by having those pieces of glass on the wall. That's Spielberg kind of saying, pieces of reality kind of thing, or shattering reality. But it's the right move to put you in, so you can't fault him too much. What else would you say about the film?
No, it's good. If you haven't seen it, I mean, it holds up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if the CGI, like the CGI being quote unquote not as good, there's only pockets.
Yeah.
It's a couple seconds here. It's this here. It's like when they're flying around in the jetpacks, it clearly looks like it was wires.
Yeah.
Like it's good, but you can tell it's not as fluid as you would assume it would be.
Right.
But that's also, based upon guesswork because I've never seen a jetpack out outside of the big hydrogen peroxide ones, like from the 70s.
Oh yeah.
Halftime show shit. And theirs are actually combustible engines because they're spitting out exhaust and flames at times.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why anybody would strap that to their back.
Oh shit, man.
Just having that, a little, mini engine, how does that not over? I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, now we've seen it with, have you seen that hoverboard?
Yeah.
Someone made where they go flying out. It's better than a jetpack, and they look like Green Goblin almost.
Yeah.
You're like, that's great.
Good reference.
Well, that's what it looks like.
That's what you're right.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, that's very cool. Like, I guess that makes more sense to me to have a stable platform as opposed to a jetpack. But I don't know.
Listen, I'm barely getting used to drones. If I start seeing people flying around to the mall or to the Grove
I don't
or
think
down
it'll
the
happen.
street, I'm not going to like that. I'm really not going to like that.
Well,
Because at any point they fall in your fucking car if their thing malfunctions.
yeah, I just don't. I don't think it'll be mass produce something that you can take out on the street, and you maybe could do it in a less populated area because now you got to get the FAA involved,
Right?
And how high can these things fly,
Right.
and then fucking
What's
the
public
liability insurance. They can now fly into buildings and stuff.
That's true.
And do we really want to subsidize the cost of this just so we can fly around? Does it make sense to do this? I just don't see it happen anytime soon.
Yeah, I can barely handle those Segway things. Those.
I'm more concerned with the just the 2-wheeled foot one. I can't think of the
That's
name.
what I'm talking about. That's a Segway. It's a version of a Segway.
Oh yeah, but it's got a name. I can't remember what
Does
it is.
Oh, I didn't know I thought it was a Segway.
No, the Segway's the tall stand-up one that's got the handles.
Yeah, I know that. So this is not considered a 2-wheeled Segway, like just a Segway.
No, it's got. I mean, I know it's the same technology for the most part, just on a smaller scale. But it's got a different name to it.
Let's see.
Well, it's just like the brand. It's like Kleenex became what you call
Coke
tissues.
Like Coke became soda or whatever. Yeah.
So Segway is the taller version of this, and then the smaller version is this. But that's what that's called for all those, even if it's a different company, I think.
It's okay. So it's a Segway hoverboard, is what it's called.
Hoverboard. I think. Okay, yeah, it is. So hoverboard.
Yeah. Insane.
But I think numerous companies make them, so they just call them hoverboards.
Yeah, hoverboards. Right. Exactly. Ugh. Anyway, but that's technology, and that's where we're moving towards. But I think what the film does is, no matter how great the technology is, no matter how much in the future we are, we're always going to have these things because we're humans. We're always going to have these questions of free will versus predestination.
Yeah.
Because in essence, they're stopping crimes. Everybody's in jail for a crime they did not actually commit.
Exactly. It becomes an existential.
Supposedly.
I mean, it's a great way to encapsulate that argument is when Farrell and Cruz first meet and he rolls that ball.
Yes.
And Farrell catches it.
Yeah.
And be like, well, why did you catch it? Because it was going to fall.
Right.
Well, by you catching it, preventing it falling, it didn't fall, but it doesn't change the fact that it would have.
Right.
Be like, nah, that's true. But now you're not taking into account the will of the ball.
Right. And you're not taking that the humans are not balls. Humans are have multiple levels.
The ball has no choice but to fall because a force is acting upon it, whereas you as a human being have that choice.
Yeah, like right at the beginning, Ari Gross is about to stab his wife for cheating on him with that dude. But he says, I wasn't going to do anything. Yeah, you don't know. Just because he was cocking back doesn't mean she couldn't have said something that made him stop.
Yeah, or he just like, what am I doing? Stops in that moment. It's like, I can't stab her.
Yeah.
As much as in this moment I'm just enraged.
Yeah.
Because she's doing this. He does, you can make a case either way that he is the type of character that would snap into it, or that would just crumble underneath the moment, the pressure, and what is his life, and just becomes a pathetic heap because he already seems like a semi-pathetic heap.
Yeah, it's a weird ending too because they like shutter the program, and if it's true in his mind, they shutter the program and let all the prisoners free. So what does that mean? I
don't know how you take it national because now you need these precogs, you need numerous of them, and they had to do genetic experiments on kids that.
Yeah.
Their mothers had an early version of this. What was it? It was something almost like heroin, the name of it.
Yeah.
And now it's been refined and it's much better. So you have to find children of a certain age. Right. So how long is this program going to last?
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just didn't seem tenable.
I just like they set it in D.C. too. It's a smart place to set it. It's where you would set it. It makes sense because it's a government program. You're trying to figure this thing out. So, great stuff. I enjoyed the movie. I definitely would recommend it if you haven't seen it in a while. To me, it jumped up a little bit in my rankings, probably of Spielberg films, having rewatched it again, because I enjoyed it when I saw it years ago, but I think something about it this time, watching it, is like, it's a little more, there's more going on here than you would think in a Spielberg film, and he's actually making statements, which Spielberg's not really known for making these kind of political statements in his movies.
Yeah.
Something like Schindler's List is something else, or Amistad. Those are so obvious, but these subversive little statements he doesn't always do, and so it was fun to explore that again with this film and see it, and the performances are great. It's Colin just as he's starting out, just as he's about to blow up, and Cruise is never more on point than he is in this film.
Yeah. So. There's a guy that's been crushing it for...
So long.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Although I wish he could now do something that was good other than Mission Impossibles, because that's all he seems to be churning out now.
It's a good point. You wish there's something else more.
Yeah, everything else in between is like,
I still go But yes,
I wait to see what the reviews are like, and then it determines whether or not I'm going to go. Other people, I would just flat out go and be like, I don't care. I want to make up my own mind.
Right.
He's got to the point where like, I'll wait. I'll wait.
See what everybody else is saying. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. This has been our Thunderdome on Minority Report. Follow us at Top 10 Podcast on Instagram, Top 10 Show on Twitter. Like the Facebook page.
Yeah, if you want to vote on these Thunderdomes in the future, it's facebook.com/the Top 10 Podcast with the number 10. You can only vote on there. We may broadcast the fact that we're doing it other places, but if you give us a vote like on Twitter or YouTube or something, that will not be counted.
Yeah, sorry. It will not be counted.
Yeah, unfortunately, just because I don't want to go to more places and count.
For God's sakes.
That's it. It's really just laziness.
And where can people reach the show?
If you want to email us, it is top10podcast@gmail, and that is all spelled out as top10podcast@gmail.
There it is. And follow Matt at Matt Nost. Follow me at The Roca Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And that's it, right?
That is it. Thanks for listening.